Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. More and more voices from Europe, from European politicians, come out against delivering more weapons to Ukraine and call for an immediate ceasefire and negotiations. Well, the negotiations, I think they are for the most part misguided in a way that these politicians ask Russia to negotiate with Ukraine, missing the point. The point is not Russia and Ukraine, is Russia and the United States of America. So if they want to negotiate, should just call it the way it is and call the decision-making parties United States and Russia, not Ukraine and Russia. The problem is, why should you change something that runs perfectly? You don't change anything if it runs the way you planned it to function. And therefore Zimbabwe from across the Atlantic, why would they change what occurs in Ukraine when I think according to their plans goes pretty good? And I'm talking about Russia being weakened and drained of resources and destabilized with an attempt of sending it back to 1991 to 1999 period. If you remember that one, I know Russians remember that one and they don't want to go back to that period, but that's where they want to go. So let's see who's next in line here to say that, hey, maybe Ukraine should not be given more weapons because that would just escalate the whole scuffle. But he is not sending the message to whoever needs to be sent the message to. This article is from Sputnik from the 21st of October 2022. Italy's M5S leader, Conte, urges against new arms deliveries to Ukraine. Obviously, this article comes from a Russian media outlet, so they're going to interpret this guy's statements as this, like they all do. It depends on what kind of interest they have, what agenda they have. So Giuseppe Conte, the leader of the Italian Five-Star Movement Party, M5S, and the country's former prime minister on Thursday urged against new arms deliveries to Kiev and called for a peaceful resolution of the Ukraine conflict. And I'm quoting, "Our position is clear. We believe that peace talks are necessary at the moment. Countries like the US continue to deliver weapons to Ukrainians. I do not think that this is a priority now," end quote. Conte told journalists after his meeting with Italian President Sergio Mattarella, adding that, and I'm quoting, "there is no more need for arms deliveries on the part of Italy." That's what you think. Obviously, because he made a statement. Conte said that outgoing Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi's cabinet has refused to openly discuss the issue and took the discourse to the Parliamentary Committee for the Security of the Republic, whose sessions are classified. So that guy's a weasel. He just passed it over to some other thing, so nobody can figure out what's going on in there. And I'm quoting again, "In other countries, in Germany, in the US, the information about arms deliveries is published on websites, not classified," end quote, the ex-prime minister said. He added that there is no contradiction in the position of the leadership of M5S, which demands that Italy's clear Euro-Atlantic orientation be maintained and new arms deliveries to Kiev be suspended. And I'm quoting, "If you conceive our Euro-Atlantic position as blind obedience to decision made elsewhere," who might that be, "there is a contradiction. But if you believe that Italy can become the central figure in a decision of the North Atlantic Treaty Alliance and that our country can contribute to the pivot to negotiations, there is no contradiction," Conte said. Hey, Conte, I think you miss a point. Let me tell you how things are run, Conte. There's a guy, a country, an entity, who has a club. He is the slave master. That is Zimbabwe, between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. So it's not Canada. Canada is a communist country. Not that, with a communist Prime Minister. Not talking about Mexico, because Mexico doesn't have the, abilities, military abilities or financial abilities to do what the guy. So you know who I'm talking about. Not South America, okay? So this little country has a club, and this club is formed out of slaves, servants, okay? Servants, vassal states, which are divided in two sections. A big one, which is the bottom feeders, the plantation slaves cutting the sugar cane, and that's the guys in the European Union, the guys in NATO, those countries. And then you got one house servant. That is Great Britain. It's a servant, but it's not in the field. Sometimes France tries to show its balls and wants to go from the plantation, comes into the house and say, hey, is the food ready? What's going on here? I delivered the message from the whomever over there, and then goes back over there. So for about 3 seconds, France becomes, from the plantation, slave over there cutting the sugarcane, comes to become a little servant in the house. And then Great Britain is the one who says, okay, give me the message, get the fuck out. And I'm going to deliver to great master. So that's how the world is ran, Mr. Conte. All right, so you think you're going to have a voice. Yeah, you know what voice you can have, Conte? Over there in the plantation singing. That's what you have. You can sing your little slave songs over there if you want, or whatever you want to sing, and that's it. You can't be something else. All right, so that's you, Conte. Oh, you want to be what? You want to be in the house? Let alone you want to be that guy. No, and the whole pretense that NATO organization, alliance, is not an alliance. The United States does whatever they want. Remember, if you want to just see the easiest example of how NATO is organized is like this. Watch Donald Trump, former US president, coming and talking in front of Stoltenberg, the chief of NATO, and his weasels, and Trump stays on the other side of the desk with his guys, weasels. Not all of them, but some of them were, and still are, right? And see how the conversation goes. And if you don't say that this guy is the boss and the other guy is the subordinate, then I don't know what to tell you. I can sell you this for $3,000 if you want, and I'm not going to give it to you. Or why not give me, I don't know, about $10,000, I will give them to you back tomorrow. How about that? You can't be that naive. See how those guys talk over there, and who's who and what's what. So Conte, I think he is if he was the prime minister of Italy, which is not really a unimportant country, let's put it this way, in Europe, then what can you say? I mean, if this guy is just talking like that, is not saying it as it is, or we need more, you're not going to have anything. You're not going to have anything. You can talk with your little guys on the plantation. Hey, what are we going to do? Are we going to make a decision like this? Yeah. But when you hear the boss's voice coming down the alley, you're going to be like, that's how you're going to be. All of you. You scatter like little. You can't scatter because you are under the supervision, if you know what I mean. But you're going to be like, that's the way you all are. All of you. So, yeah, thank you very much. You're going to do what? Go and cut some sugar cane for the master. And Great Britain, get the freaking dinner ready. Or supper. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.